That's right, the battle for #1 continues to rage on as Top Esports takes heavy advantage of XQuest going out, and Top Esports gets themselves plenty of kills and plenty of placement points. What a victory for them in the very, very last moments as well. Years shining through there as one of an absolute slaughter. And when we saw Purple Mood there having the hardest time to really deal with things, they were stuck in the tunnel, and that is how it goes. What a win, Scoom, for Top Esports.
What a win, and I was talking to the guys watching this. This is probably the most fun game I've had all tournament, because all three, the teams in the top three, were on the southern side of the map, and it kept shrinking north and north, and you see XQF with an amazing rotation to the west. You saw Top Esports with an amazing rotation to the east, and you saw Elite on the southern side. You saw the top three teams on each corner of the map, and Top Esports were just on top. They were just on fire, taking fights left and right, and you saw Years there with that flank at the end, just 1v3 in PLM to win them the game.
Second best chicken dinner, John.
I would say so, certainly. It was an excellent final circle for me. I loved that terrain. I love how it all interacted around that bridge. I thought it was really, really cool to see. PLM, they were in a pretty unfortunate position when it came down to it. Of course, we talked about them being in the tunnel, but they still managed to get themselves 28 points, right? So 9 kills, third place, nets them a really decent performance, even though they weren't the top dogs at the end of it.
Purple Moon might have been in a bad position, but Years just completely outplayed them. Take a position behind the tree, some hard cover, and then some left and right lean to take them all down. That's such a good play. But this, for me, as Goom said, the macro play of these guys, how they're able to rotate, stop and scout, get further and further into the zone to get themselves a great position. XQuest's fight, we didn't really catch it much on stream, but they completely eliminated everybody on the western side. That was such a good play. And we caught so much of the action with Top Esports on the northeastern side. And it's a pleasure to watch these teams battle it out here in Vikendi.
Yeah, let's take a look at the highlights here from round number 15, of course. And we saw RRQ Athena, to be fair, get themselves not too bad at placement, but realistically, when it comes to the overall placement chase now, it feels like they're going to be out of the running, Scoop.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not only that, but Top Esports have 25-point lead on XQF as well.
Yeah.
First to second with that win. And XQF did pretty good as well. They came in the top position. They had a lot of kills. But with that huge game for Top Esports, it's going to be just between those two teams going into the last game.
And that gap is really, really important because XQuest, they're hovering around a 20-point average per game just on score. And even if Top Esports go out, they get that average performance. That's still not enough to close that gap. So that's a huge, huge buffer for Top Esports moving forwards. They may have just secured themselves that golden level 3 helmet over there on the stage.
Out of the last 8 games, Top Esports has placed in the top 4 6 times. The consistency is crazy from Top Esports right now. You can already take a look here and see that Years with this position. And Purple Moon did not expect it. They just did not expect it from that angle. They thought everything was covered by the blue, by their previous scouting Avenger.
Yeah, and this position, again, from Years, him to take a position like that talks to how aggressive and how aware, how cerebral this team is. And definitely Top Esports, yeah, in me, they are already top here. And it's looking very likely for them to take the whole tournament with only 1 game to go.
Unless Sixless or Old Boy, for example, may step up here. Paraboy might stay up at the top for overall kills as things go on, unless somebody has an absolutely monster game so far. So we've seen very, very heavy names be able to do extremely well. And here are the overall standings as 325 points go to Top Esports currently. XQuest with 300. However, we have seen that gap be changed. Elite Gaming would have to have a first place chicken dinner with 20 points to even try and catch up with 0 points going to anybody else. So now Top Esports and XQuest are very likely locked in horns with one another for that top spot, Scoom.
Yeah, I mean, Top Esports have that 25-point buffer. We might see them attacking here XQF in the last game. It might pay off for them.
It might.
They're only facing them pretty much in the tournament, not facing anyone else. So they want XQuest F to die early, avoid them getting points. So we might see maybe a hot drop in Erangel or something like that.
I mean, effectively, even if you lost the fight but crippled them,
exactly.
If you left them with 2 or 1 member, it would be almost impossible for them to catch up with kind of that deficit, surely.
Exactly, yeah. We've seen that that so many times in other tournaments, so it could pay off here with that buffer that they have.
Yes, if we hit sort of top 8 and all of these teams are still alive, it's pretty much going to solidify, because the longer the game goes on, everybody's getting points, and you need them to do badly. You need the teams above you to do badly, as well as you doing well. So the better the teams above you do, even if you do very well, it's going to be super hard to catch them. So the later this game goes on, the longer these top teams survive, the harder it'll be to dethrone them.
And I think we can pretty much say now that RRQ Athena is definitely not going to be able to recrown themselves one of the best team, or the best team in the world here. So I'd say congratulations already now to the Chinese region that have been absolutely dominant here in this tournament. Beautiful to see from them.
Just phenomenal, just phenomenal. Let's take a look at our dream team, of course, for round 15 as a whole, as well as we have plenty of names to show, and all of these players looking to claim themselves that level 3 helmet. Let's see who we've got coming up. Who do we have? Jasper, KK Skur, Paraboy, and Nawin get themselves spots up towards the top. I'm surprised Year isn't here, actually.
Yeah, same. He had a lot of kills. He had like 5 kills that game, so these players might have performed much better than them. I'm surprised to see PLM. They haven't been in that many times in the Dream Team, so I'm glad that they're finally trying to show their potential that we did see in the prelims, but they kind of fell short here in the finals. Yeah,
that was, it was very good. I mean, they ended the game with 9 kills, as we saw, in 3rd place. So they were able to do a lot of work, and even, you know, if they'd have actually been able to turn it around, that would have then jetted up to about 13 kills. So that's a very, very strong performance, because of course they would have been able to take down Top Esports, who would have won it, so that would have added to their kill count. So they had a very, very good game there, so I'm not too surprised to see their players coming in.
And Bigatron, 24 points away to get into the real prize money here. I really hope that Bigatron is going to be able to do it here in the last game. They've been proving themselves today, I feel like, and when you perform on championships on there, I really feel like you deserve to be at least in the top 5.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So, of course, here, Team Top Esports at the moment is in a very, very strong spot, and XQF is going to look to try and challenge that going into our last game. It's a very tense moment then going into that last game, of course, it being Erangel. Do people change their drop spots? Do they try and do something? Of course, we'll talk about that after the break. I'm just musing. I'm getting a bit carried away with myself. I'm a little excited. All right, calm down, James. All right, thank you, James. I'm having a conversation. Never mind. Anyway, beyond all of that.
We just talk amongst ourselves whilst you have your thing.
If you want to. You know, I'm having a little nervous breakdown over here. Guys, though, Vikendi, anything else that you want to extrapolate from that? Any thoughts?
I mean, this is my first time actually watching Vikendi, and I particularly really enjoyed it. I like the teams, how they adapt when the circle shrinks away from them, the breaches that they do and stuff like that. So it was really entertaining. I thought coming in, it was going to be my least favorite map, but I think it was probably one of my favorites.
It's a map of discipline, right? It is set plays and executions, whereas a lot of the other maps can be a little bit sort of rotation, fuzzy logic coming into it, figuring out where you want to play. Whereas with Vikendi, it's like, right, we go here, here, here. It's jagged, your path through the map, and you have to make those rotations smart, like we saw XQF do, like we saw a lot of these teams make.
Let's take a look at the MVP votings as well that's going on around the world. It's getting down to your very last chances to vote over on Twitter. So make sure to hashtag teamname_PMCO. As you can see here, Team Seoul is probably not going to get knocked off that position. So, you know, just keep voting for Team Seoul, I suppose. And then, of course, let's take a look at the player one as well, which is using the hashtag playername_PMCO. And it's still RRQ Athena, so they're probably not going to get knocked off that spot, so maybe keep voting for those guys still. That's how I'm going to sell it.
95% of the points for RRQ, 95.
That has dropped off, though. It was about 50.
Yeah, but it's dropped off to the other players, so it's evening out among RRQ Athena. 4 out of the 64 there have 95% of the votes. It's absolutely insane.
We tried to coax the Indian audience into voting for their players, but it didn't work.
They're sleeping now. They're going to be voting tomorrow. When
I guess they just don't like Mortal enough. I feel like, you know, come on, guys. What's going on?
You know, in India, if you want him, we'll ship him over and you can get him yourself. That's how it's going to go. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Of course, as I'm going to head down Kailash Avenue as we go over this way, just a little bit. And we do check in with Seven. Seven, what do you have for me?
Top Esports, maybe the play for me. And as you're going to be able to see right here towards the end, they were going up against PLM. And look how separate they currently are. They had Wildcat right here, just shooting down and putting pressure on them. And as we saw Axel right here from Team Queso, he was actually, I don't know what he was thinking. He decided not to shoot Purple Move for some reason. And this is where Top Esports is able to actually go ahead and take advantage.
Yeah.
Right here, look at their movement. As soon as Wildcat notices that all the players are down there, he starts telling his teammates, start moving forward, and they start doing just so. You start seeing the rotations just move forward right here, and you'll see that as I fast forward it a little bit. Look at that right there. So great team chemistry. And the best part out of all this was definitely the flank, right? The flank by Years right here. He's able to just use that to his advantage. His teammates were shooting down on them. His teammates was actually throwing Molotovs on them as well on Purple Mood, and he uses that to his advantage right there. He starts his rotation. Let me just go ahead and make it a little bit more clear for you. He makes this wide rotation behind this tree, and he's able to take full advantage of that. And thanks to that, they're able to go ahead and secure 3 more kills, which in terms got them the win. So top plays there by Top Esports.
Right. It's important that rotation is slightly wider because there's a little lip there that you can use as a bit more cover just in case they peek around, right? So that's important in itself.
Yeah, and they really couldn't tell where exactly they were. As I'm mentioning right here on this section, it's a hill. They have no idea where they're at. That's why they're throwing Molotovs. They're trying to figure that out. And by Years being able to just move up to this area, it's huge. He was able to secure those 3 kills and just pretty much get them the win.
All right, well, thank you very much, Seven. It is time now to head over to our interview as we have Top Esports ready, as always.
We are in the Top Esports player pit, and I've got White Cat for a chat. And first of all, congratulations on another win. Why do you think today is going so well for the team?
恭喜你们今天再次打胜，然后请问你们为什么今天打得这么好呢？
今天就是把一些压力转化为动力，然后每个人都很愤怒吧，然后就每个人没有失误，然后就打来了2把7吧，就发挥都很好。
We were working very hard, and our pressure got a little less through this, so we were playing better than before.
Well, you did manage to get 16 kills, which is incredible. That might be one of the highest kill counts we've had so far here at the PMCO. But tell me about your team fight against XQuest F, because they're your closest rivals on the leaderboard. They're also from China. So was it quite satisfying to kill them?
告诉我一下，你们和 XQ 的遭遇战怎么样？杀死他们是不是很好的感觉？
对于他们，我们一直在找机会吧，然后机会出现了，我们就给他们杀掉了。打得很轻松。
We were looking for this chance for quite some time to kill them, so it felt really good to finally do it.
Now you are top of the leaderboard, but there's one more map to go. So are we going to see you and the rest of Top Esports play carefully, or are you going to just go out and kill everyone, White Cat?
你们现在排第1名，但是还剩下来最后一场比赛。你们这场比赛会打得小心一点吗？还是很凶？
我们就是一如既往吧，该怎么打就怎么打。
We'll just play how we need to play.
Which, judging by watching Top Esports over the last few days, is basically aggressive as anything you've ever seen in PUBG Mobile Global Esports. Now, as I just mentioned, there's only one more map before we crown our victors. So you know you do not gonna go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
I vow to always hold your hand whenever you ask for it. And of course, I vow through sickness and health, I'll take care of you until death do us apart.
I fly through the stars to get to you.
I promise to respect, admire, and appreciate you for who you are. I promise to seek a deep understanding of your wishes, your desires, your fears, and your dreams. And I promise to always strive to meet your needs, not out of obligation, but because it delights me to see you happy. I promise to be there for you when you need me, whenever you need me. And I promise to nurture your goals and ambitions, to support you through misfortune, and to celebrate your triumphs. And the last one. I promise to show you every day that I know exactly how lucky I am to have you in my life.
Hi, I'm ICBaby12.
And I'm Vivi from iGaming.
We wanted to share our special moment with all of you guys here, and a special shout out to all my friends and family who I've met themselves in the PMCO SEA League. We wanted to share our special moment with all you guys who could not make it, and also a special shout out to those who's competing for the Global Grand Finals, which is Bigatron, RRQ Athena, and of course none other than Purple Moon, who's competing. Good luck, guys. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we hope that you guys can get that chicken dinner.
And welcome back here. We have one final game to determine who is going to be our world champion, our undisputed world champion for the PMCO 2019 Global Finals. And of course, where are we ending it? We will be ending it on Erangel to figure out who our world champion will become. And of course, at this point in time, it is very, very likely that one of two names will become the world champion. Will it be Top Esports, or will it be XQuest F? That is the big question on everyone's minds right now. Joining me to my right-hand side to get this going, I have Seven, I have Mr. John Allen, and I have Scoom. Gentlemen, it's our final game of Erangel. What do you want?
I'm excited that it's going to be Erangel. We have seen different teams actually perform well in that map. I wonder if they're going to try to get more involved. I wonder if they're going to try to actually make a name for themselves by gunning for the top teams. I think it would make sense, especially if they want to make a name for themselves. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing what XQF is going to go ahead and try to do. We know they like to get the kills, but are they going to switch it up a little bit?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to overtake, but there is a timeline that exists that XQuest F can take to move them on and take down Top Esports. If Top Esports go down early, even if they go down in that Circle 5 shift that we've said is just so deadly when it comes to these games, if that happens and XQuest F get a good game, then they can overtake it. And we've seen how strong they can be. They have the best game in these finals so far with that 20-kill game and the chicken dinner.
Yeah,
I feel like XQuest just need a top 3 minimum, absolute minimum, to actually have a chance at this, and then top esports need to kind of die early. But the story of the previous Erangel game, we did see top esports and XQF both in the top 5 finishes, so it's going to be hard for top esports to kind of struggle here at the end.
Yeah, and I was mentioning, I wonder one of those lower teams is going to try to just go gun at them. I know that I just spoke to Mortal and Team Soul, and they told me they're looking also to get that win, and they already have a win in Erangel, so I'm sure they want to go ahead and have a great ending to this global championship. I'm just honestly excited. I'm out of words.
I mean, you make a great point. More commonly than not, these two teams, apart from XQuest's middle games, let's say day 2 games, let's take it as that, they're more often than not finding themselves in podium finishes, which means if both of them find themselves in a podium finish, it's very unlikely that XQuest F would be able to take over that kind of situation. So surely for XQuest F, there is a hunt involved almost, but they're just kind of, more often than not, there isn't a hunt. More often than not, you don't see the hot drop. But they're hoping to see them maybe go out early, or they take the drastic decision to do something spicy.
Yeah, I mean, if I was them personally, I would, because how consistent top esports has been.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the last game, and in the last games, you do see these wild things happening where teams don't play normal, right? Because some teams don't have a chance of maybe getting an extra position above the leaderboard, so they might play extra aggressive that you wouldn't expect, or some rotations that might not happen, some bridge camps, this and that, right? That these last game can be a bit wild. So if I was them, I would just keep it on my own hands, and maybe hot drop and do it yourself. Don't let other teams eliminate top esports. There
is a gamble in that though as well, right? Because think about the difference between second and third. 300 points for XQF, and then 279 points for Elite Gaming. Now, if you did hot drop, for example, have a bit of a rough time, not really do anything with it, there is the potential that Elite Gaming would take over and take yourself to the second place, which is a massive difference in terms of the prize pool. I guess it really depends, ultimately, John, on what your priorities are. Do you want to be a world champion, or do you want more money?
Both.
That would be nice. That would be the World Championship.
Let's take that one. But yeah, as you say, it absolutely is a risk. There is just such inherent problems with that. So maybe, you know, instead of that, you're going to be looking towards the teams at the bottom to be trying to hot drop and trying to have a little bit of an influence, you know, maybe get their name out there, get a little bit of clout for taking down the top team on a hot drop. And that could even throw a spanner in the works. But they could also be targeting equally XQuest. They could be targeting Elite. They just want to be, you know, in that fight somewhere and trying to get it done.
And one of those final circles that I've yet to see on a soccer forum, actually Pubg. I would like to go ahead and see that. I'd like to go ahead and see how that plays out and what strategy teams would deploy. We saw what happened in Milta towards the end. I believe it was the previous Erangel match. A lot of crazy stuff happening, a lot of teams pushing into the city, and then they had to push out towards the fields, and they got caught in that transition. So I want to see a final circle that's something along those lines.
Along lines of like an urban ending, be it Pachinki or not, would be great, I suppose. I'm a terrible human being, so I would like Pachinki Fields, especially here when it comes to PUBG Mobile.
That's rough.
It made you shudder just for a moment there, John.
Absolutely. Oh, got chills. I know it's quite hot in the venue, but for some reason, I don't know.
It suddenly got cold.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Scoom? What would you like?
I would actually like to see a normal circle. I would like to see maybe a potato in the middle of the circle where it's the fields, the forest, sorry. Like, we've had so many circles that have kind of been unique, like the Milta shrink out, the container shrink out, the middle of the Rozhok with the river. It's been like really hard for teams to play out. I kind of want them to have like maybe a normal game where it's much easier and not so stressful.
I feel like for the majority of our abnormal circles, we've had what I would consider to be a surprise winner considering the circle. Any thoughts on that, John, or anything specific?
It's PUBG Mobile, right? Anything can happen. I've said it before. When you're faced with the pressure that comes with being on the global stage, that comes with being in the competition to be the first global champions of PUBG Mobile here at the PMCO, anything can happen, and it can get to you, and it can mean that even if you have the stronger position, you might not be able to hold it down, you might not be used to it, you might not be able to cope with the pressure, and it really comes down to, is your IGL going to be cool, calm, collected? Are your teammates going to listen to the calls that they're making and enact the strategy in a way that deserves to be the ones to hoist that golden helmet?
Yeah, and actually just going off that, XQuest is the perfect example of what happened in the previous Erangel map. They had 4 players, and I'll be giving when it was Bigatron, they only had 2, and they lost that matchup. So just because they have the numbers, and also we've seen in previous matches, just because they have the high ground, it's not going to go ahead and plan out just as you might think.
The plane doing its test flight here for the final game, round number 16. And of course, for a lot of these players around the world, Scoom, to be able to come here live to Berlin to play in the World Championship, that in itself is enough to be able to say what an experience this has been for a lot of these players to be able to play on this kind of stage. Because this stage, is you've played on stages before, this is a cool stage.
Yeah, this is really sick. This is probably a more fun stage I've seen that I've played in for sure. And yeah, like you're saying, all these regions coming together, the top player teams from each region, and the experience some of these teams are going to get back home to their own regions is going to be so good. Coming forward to the fall split and the next year, the World League. This is such huge stepping grounds for them.
I reckon.
And talking about actually the fall split, that's something that I'm actually looking forward to, especially we were in Dubai and we saw what kind of skills were there, and it has been a complete step up from there. I want to see what's going to happen in fall split, and don't forget you can actually register in August 8th, so make sure you go ahead and do that.
Well, that's the funny thing. I feel like the transitions between these big tournaments, RRQ Athena, I think, has been surprised by the level of skill around the world coming together here to be able to fight one another. And then likewise, you're mentioning teams that transition from here to maybe fall. Someone like XQuest F, if they were able to round out their placements compared to the kills, they'll be indestructible.
It would just be absolutely unstoppable. Just imagine a team getting those amount of kills every single game, and on top of that, being able to place higher. Nobody will be able to touch them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how teams are going to go ahead and evolve throughout the whole.
Short thought, John?
Yeah, and even, building on that, you're not even sure about the format of the next season. We haven't had that information released yet, so maybe the kills will be more important moving forward. So XQuest F, they might be in with a chance, but they're going to have to put in their game of a lifetime today.
Let's see if they can challenge for first place. It is time. It's the final round, ladies and gentlemen, here for PMCO 2019 Global Finals. Who will take it? Will it be Top Esports? Will it be XQF? We're about to find out. Biggitron start the day, or end the day, how they began it as well. It's win after win after win here for Biggitron as they got themselves 3 chicken dinners throughout the day. What a performance by them, but overall, what a tournament.
What a tournament indeed. It came down to the last match, and I think we were all eating our nails trying to figure out which team was going to die first. Top Esports played it super safe, and actually they did great rotations, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. They kept going east, west, and they make sure they stay out of the zones. And XQuest, they were smack middle of that final circle, trying to fight everybody 360.
Right. I mean, the fact that both Top Esports and XQuest F were alive until some of the very final moments in this one, John, is very impressive to say the least. Obviously, all tournament long, they've been 2 extremely formidable opponents for all of these teams, and to survive to the very end of the last game is a testament to their abilities.
It's the question of consistency versus fragging power, and that's what we saw today. Phenomenal final game. What a way to end it out. Great movements, great rotations, and all in all, a fantastic way to close us off.
Scoom?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a normal ending, and that was pretty much a pretty normal Erangel game. And Southeast Asia performing at the very end here. They started off the tournament with RRQ Athena doing really well, Biggitron as well, and they ended it with the first and the second. So they must be happy with ending a win.
And talking about that, Biggitron being able to go ahead and get 3 wins today, that is huge. And they are so young too. They are, I believe, they're only 16. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to be able to do. And this is not going to be the last time you're going to see the players from Biggitron. I'm pretty sure we're going to go ahead and continue seeing them, and they're going to be able to get more comfortable to the lights. They're going to be able to get more comfortable to this stage. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a team to look out for in the fall split.
I mean, the last day here between Biggitron and RRQ Athena, for example, John, must be a massive boost to Biggitron. Because again, for all intents and purposes, we've always said RRQ Athena, they're the big ones. But unfortunately for them, at the end of the day, Biggitron was able to win things out. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It is, of course, time now to go over to the stage to find out who our champion is. Bye-bye from the desk. It's time to find out the PMCO champion.
Yes, we started with 35,000 teams and then some, and now we have our top 3. And to present the trophies to your favorite player that you've been voting for around the world and our top 3 teams, I am delighted to present some incredible faces who make this all happen. And they are Vincent Wang, General Manager of the Global Publishing Department at Tencent Games, Light Yang, General Manager of Quantum Studios of Tencent Games, and Ong Yi Zhou, COO of Pubg Corp. And first of all, it is my pleasure to reveal who you voted for as your favorite player. And it is Thailand's RRQ Athena's G9! I'm just looking for G9 now. That was a very intense match. Where are you, G9? Yes, congratulations, G9. The fans from the Pubg esports community around the world, the Pubg mobile esports community, have decided that you are their favorite player. Congratulations. And now, in 3rd place, from China, Elite Gaming! Elite Gaming. Congratulations, you're 3rd. And I think you'll all agree, Elite Gaming have done China proud here in Berlin over the last few days. And now for our top 2 teams. it was incredibly close. But we can verify that in second place, also from China, is XQuest F! And XQuest F have so much to be proud of. They set the standard on day one, and it was up to the rest of our teams to try and match them. And finally, it is my honor to announce your winners of the PMCO Spring Split 2019 Global Finals. It is your Chinese champions, Top Esports! Now, as our champions walk to the stage, you may notice that they are wearing an incredible design. They are wearing our PMCO champion hoodies. It's a limited edition design from our collaboration from Bait, an incredible exclusive fashion brand. And these are going to be available on sale at the end of August. They're going to be very, very limited, but you can check them out from August the 1st in PUBG Mobile. I do think, though, we should hear from our winners. You guys started strong, you were consistent throughout, but it was today that you proved yourselves to be champions with those chicken dinner wins. How do you feel?
你们一直非常的努力，然后现在拿到了冠军，什么样的感觉？
什么样的感觉？就是牛逼。
Just awesome.
And finally, you do have fans here. You have fans watching from around the world and in China. What would you like to say to them?
你们这边还有很多个国家都有很多的粉丝，你们会有什么样的话跟他们说？
感谢大家一直对我们的支持，谢谢大家，谢谢。
Thank you very much for your support, for everyone's support.
Well, congratulations. Now, before we truly celebrate our victors, I have to say a massive thank you to Tencent, to Bluehole, to the PUBG Esports community for watching. PUBG Mobile is such a fantastic experience, and I'm sure you've all seen that this weekend. And we have to say a massive thank you, of course, to our headline sponsor, Vivo. Their next smartphone has been the official smartphone device of the PMCO Spring Split Global Finals. Now, if you would like to take your place in front of the trophy, Top Esports. Because there is only one thing left to say, Berlin. And I think you know what I'm going to say. Please show your appreciation for your PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split Final 2019 champions!